welcome back. Or welcome. I don't know where, if you're new or if you're not. You're probably new. There's not a lot of people who are regulars. So anyway, the point of today's video is I'm going to review all the books I read in 2024 in one sentence. I'm a little off to the side because I don't have my books, so I'm going to just put like a picture of them here. Yeah, I'm going to put a little picture of the book here, and that's what we're going to do. So you'll be able to see it. So I'm going to go in order of when I read them. So starting off strong with Court. Okay. Big fight between supernatural creatures. Then Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban, which I believe most of you probably have heard before, but one of them's a werewolf, one of them's a rat, one of them is a traitor. Yeah. Also time travel. Charm. Grace and Hudson get stuck in a purple shadow world that is actually Grace's mind and defeat a time dragon while also falling in love. Yeah. Then Harry Potter. Wait, no, not Harry Potter. I read a book about Theodore Roosevelt and him traveling a river in the jungle and then discovering a river and calling it the River of Doubt because they didn't think they were gonna make it alive. That's basically the book. Cherish, so bad I didn't finish it. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Trials. Someone dies. Yeah, that's kind of it. Dancing, there's a ball, so that's cool. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Harry Potter being an angsty little 15-year-old while being a lot at Grimmauld Place, not too much at Hogwarts. The prophecy happens. Yeah. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Harry finds a potions book that has the Half-Blood Prince written inside of it, so presumably that is who owned it, and finds out later, oh, that's gonna be a spoiler, I don't want to spoil it. Finds out later that it's one of the professors. Yeah. Much Ado About Nothing. I think that's really it. There's so much hoopla about nothing. In the Weeds. Small town boy, big city influencer girl meet and fall in love. What Happens After Midnight. Two exes try and pull off a senior prank and end up rekindling a romance. Divine Rivals. Two gods going to war and enlisting mortals to help fight the war, while Iris and Roman try to report on the war and fall in love. A Touch of Darkness. Persephone and Hades retelling, really. That's the same for A Touch of Ruin, A Touch of Malice, and A Touch of Chaos. All of those are basic. Oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna describe the whole series. Hold on. They are Hades and Persephone retellings while also being Ariadne retellings, but also Perseus and it's a TH guy, and I don't remember him, but he sucks. And Hermes is there, and so is Dionysus for some reason. Okay. How to Solve Your Own Murder. Niece inherits from her rich aunt and is tasked with solving her murder in order to get the inheritance. Lord of the Flies, a bunch of boys, plane crash, a bunch of boys get stuck on an island and slowly go insane until they get rescued. The Stolen Heir. Girl is a monster and is ostracized from her family and then finds out she's worth more than she thought she was. Is pretty much The Stolen Heir and Prisoner's Throne kind of combined together. A Taste for Love is a Pride and Prejudice retelling with a fun bakery twist. Yeah, it's a Pride and Prejudice retelling that I actually don't mind. Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, two academic rivals who fought all year for valedictorian. One of them wins. They get somehow paired together in this great like last senior like scavenger hunt. It's almost like, you know, they have like bands and you draw a piece of paper and then you have to rip off the band of the person, whatever. And so they work together to beat this game and fall in love. Tweet Cute. Two people running internet accounts, for like Twitter accounts basically, for their respective businesses. Don't know, like they know each other in real life, but they don't know that each person is the one that's behind the Twitter accounts. Slowly fall in love. The Atlas six people who have really interesting powers go into this big house and like are given a chance to have like an internship or something that has like all the like the Alexandrian library and blah 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 blah, and they all like love each other in a really weird erotic way. That's basically all the books. Also there's time travel involved, and yeah, that's it. Okay, funny story. Two people get broken up with, like their boyfriends or girlfriends or fiancés, whatever. Okay, they split up with them to be together. So now they don't have a place to live. Well, Daphne doesn't have a place to live, so she moves in with the other guy whose girlfriend just left him to be with her ex-fiance. They live together. She wants to move back home, but slowly realizes that she loves it there and falls in love with Miles. First Love. A fun adventure book about young love that ends tragically. Just for the Summer. Two people meet through a Reddit story. One of them is a traveling nurse. It's all set in Minnesota. And they fall in love with each other. They have like this curse that they need to break together, so, you know. Part of Your World. One of them is a doctor. The other one is like owns a small town bed and breakfast. She gets away for a weekend, meets this guy Daniel, and they fall in, well, they are attracted to each other, definitely. And then all her colleagues are like, oh, let's go on a like a little girl date, like there's this town, blah blah blah, there's this like nice bed and breakfast we can all stay at. Little does she know that it's the same place that she stayed at like a weekend previous. So they meet again and she just pretends that she doesn't know him. Oh, I had to reread that book again. It was so good. Yours Truly is a book that I have right here. I read it this summer, right here. It is about Brianna and Jacob. Yes, Jacob. And basically, their families think that they're dating, but they're not. Like, his family thinks that they're together, but they're not. And his ex-girlfriend is marrying his brother. And so he pretends that he's over her by pretending to date her. There's also a dog. And they fall in love. This Summer Will Be Different, which I also have. Basically, this girl had a one-night stand with her best friend's boyfriend in Prince Edward Island. and her best friend is about to get married, but she's being real like evasive about getting married. And little does she know that her brother's also there, so they're dealing with the whole like, we're attracted to each other but we don't want to be together because it would be really awkward if we broke up and you are best friends with my sister, you know? Yeah. Then I have The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. Basically, these people were not together. Like, they fake married to get housing in college, but the guy never told his family that they divorced quietly. And so now they have to go on an elaborate family vacation together. The Nightingale by Christina Hanna. Kristen Hanna, oh my gosh, okay. Basically a World War II historical fiction that follows two sisters who want two different things but both end up fighting for their country in their own ways. Yeah, okay. The Hate U Give. Just basically a book about racism in America and the harm that it does to the youth who end up being oppressed. Educated is a memoir about a girl who grew up in a really, really interesting household. I don't want to say that sounds really mean, but yes, a very sheltered Mormon household. Maybe it's Mormon. Anyway, some type of like branch of Christianity, religious household. Never went to public school because her parents thought the public school system was really bad, but ended up, you know, pursuing higher education and being really smart and doing it and building it all from nothing, you know? Oh boy. All the Light We Cannot See, which is another book that I DNF, which is really weird because, as I previously said, I love The Nightingale. I also like The Book Thief, which is another World War II retelling, but this one is about a blind girl who can't see, and her father basically builds her a miniature version of the city, but then they have to run away, so, you know, that's a bit of an issue. And that's about all I got through, so I think probably this year I'm going to try and pick it up again. Yeah, just wasn't in the mood. One Perfect Couple. Basically, this couple goes to an island for a reality TV show and get trapped on the island. A bunch of people die. Some people go kind of crazy. Yeah, that's it. And then they get rescued. The end. Oh boy. Oh gosh, why did I think of some of these? I wrote like abbreviations. Oh wait, no. Give me a second, I gotta figure out what this is. It's And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. Basically all these people are offered to stay at this mansion place and they all start dying in accordance to this poem, which is really weird. The Housemaid series. Basically this girl has this big secret and she goes to be like, she has a criminal record, she goes to be a housemaid, and the guy says, yes, you can be a housemaid here, of course. So she lives in their attic, and his wife is like really crazy, and you know, and the housemaid ends up falling for the man of the house, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of secrets and mysteries that I'm not gonna spoil here. Then we have The Housemaid's Secret, which I even wish I could remember what happened in this book, but I really don't. Yeah, basically for the rest of the series, it's the same generally. And then like the last book is a big time jump to where like her and this guy are married and they have kids, and then like they have a housemaid of their own, which she thinks is very weird. Yeah, and their neighbors are weird too. And then someone dies, like their neighbor dies, and she wants to know who did it. Yeah. Okay, Not in Love, which is my first Ali Hazelwood book. Basically it's just kind of, they meet on a dating app and then they just kind of like use each other. Yeah. Midnight Feast, past and present timeline, set in Britain. This like new hotel like experience is opening up and weird things are happening. Leather and Lark, serial killers who contract killer, serial killer who kills bad people, like just people who they think is like they're not good people, right? One of them is a singer, one of them is a leather worker, and they fall in love. Yeah. Butcher and Blackbird, this is serial killers who kill serial killers, find each other, meet up, really admire each other's work. And then they have this competition every summer where they track the same killer, and whoever kills him first wins, and they slowly fall in love. Powerless, basically Hunger Games, Red Queen, and The Selection all rolled into one. That's kind of it for like and Reckless too. Reckless, basically they find out that she doesn't have powers, and so she's like ostracized, and the king is dead, and she has to they're trying to find her, basically. Yeah. Wait, that's All the Bright Places. A really sad book about two depressed, mentally ill teenagers who fall in love, but ends tragically. Even though I knew the end, the setting is absolutely fantastic. I felt like I was actually there, and I lived, like, I want to go to the bar they mentioned. I want to, like, it's the atmosphere of this book alone is so cool. But basically it is about, it's paranormal, supernatural, and also a romance. Yeah, okay. Texas Outlaw. Texas Ranger is dating famous Texas country singer, but he's pushing her away to pursue this case because his best friend just became his boss, and he's being really mean to him and like on a big power trip, and he needs to like whatever, you know, get away from the spotlight for a little bit. Yeah. Runaway Jury. Don't smoke. Never smoke. If you smoke, here's why it's bad for you, and here's why the companies know it's bad for you, is basically the whole book. A lot of smoking and cigarette statistics. Full Moon. Werewolves attack Chicago. Wizard finds out why. A Voice in the Wind. Jerusalem gets attacked, and a bunch of people are carted away as slaves. One girl, Hadassah, is a slave to this really rich Roman family. She has a thing for the older brother, but she's the little sister's keeper and like helper and maid and whatever. And they don't get into any mischief until afterward. Wait, is that one? Yes, afterwards she's thrown into the lion's den, basically. Well, not the lion's den, but into the arena. Okay. As sure as nope. An Echo in the Darkness follows that right after, where the older brother, his name is Marcus, thinks that Hadassah's dead. She's not. And goes on his own self-discovery journey, finds God for himself. Yeah. And then As Sure as Dawn, throughout this whole Hadassah and Marcus series, like whatever, the two books, we also are following a third point of view from a man called, it's not Artemis, Atreides, there we go, Atreides, who used to be a gladiator but fought his way to the top, fought his way out of it. Now he's a champion. Now he lives in this big estate, and he used to be in love with this girl who was the little sister of Marcus, the one Hadassah was a handmaiden for. They had a child together, but he finds out that the child, Julia told him the child died, but he finds out the child lived, and he wants to be a father to this child and bring him back to Germania, which is where he's originally from. And he finds out that he's been taken care of by this single mother. He meets the single mother. He's like, fine, you'll be my wet nurse. That's 100% okay. And basically brings her to Germania with him, and they fall in love. And other things happen when they're in Germania, but that's basically it. Oh. Daisy Jones and the Six. Okay. Girl who was like absolutely ignored when she was a child, and then she starts doing her own thing. She starts singing. Then she starts singing as an opening to this band, but then they're like, oh my gosh, we sound really good together, so like we should do this thing together, except for the lead singer. Billy's like, I don't know that I like this so much. Yeah, and so then they like start performing together. Billy, who's already married to another chick, is like, oh god, I really like Daisy, she's like super cool. And it's all written in a oral history format, so it'll be like Billy colon what Billy says, Camilla colon what Camilla says, Daisy colon what Daisy says, Eddie colon what, you know, like so on and so forth. Like they're getting interviewed by a person. If I'm being honest, is a Taming the Shrew retelling, which if you don't know, another famous Taming the Shrew retelling is 10 Things I Hate About You, which is like my favorite movie ever. So oh yeah, it's really cute. They go see like Rocky Horror Picture Show together, all dressed up. It's about this popular girl who like starts to like talk to the nerdy crowd. It's like really stereotypical, but it's cute. I like it. Like Home. Is that nope? Admission. Basically, big scandal about this girl whose parents paid off for her SAT score so that she could get into the University of Southern California. I think it's USC. Something like that. Anyway. And she doesn't know, but like there are also some really weird things that would make it seem like she knew. Like, did she really know? Did she just like will herself to be this naive? I don't know. It wasn't that good, to be honest. Now we're at Like Home. Basically, it's this rundown neighborhood full of a whole bunch of different ethnicities and whatever, and it's about friends who used to be friends when they were kids, but a lot of them are walking different paths of life right now. And a story it's broken into, and basically our main character Nilo is struggling with change. She doesn't want her friends to move away. She doesn't want people to think that her neighborhood is run down or just a not safe place to live. And so she goes to long efforts to prove that her neighborhood is safe to live in, and that the brick throwing was just a prank and it wasn't an actual like act of violence. And she finds out who did it, and there's a lot of fighting and a lot of whatever. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're on the last page, guys. It's crazy. God of the Woods. Summer camp. People go missing. There's also a serial killer on the loose. Shatter Me. A girl gets locked in like an insane asylum because she can touch people and then they die. But really, she touches people and then they feel pain. But then there's this one guy that she knew when she was a kid who like they both were like in love with each other for whatever reason that was, and she can touch him and he doesn't die and he doesn't feel pain. And yeah, crazy. And then they run away together, and I can't read any more of it. It hurt me physically to read it. Okay. Coraline. That girl basically crawls through a little door that she finds in her living room, finds a whole another world, another mother, another father, another YB, which is her friend. They all have button eyes, and a cat basically helps her see that this is not the reality that she wants to live in, and that her real parents are better than her other parents who basically just want to eat her soul. I read Coraline, and then I read The Magician's Nephew, which is the first book in the Chronicles of Narnia series, which I still haven't finished, and I'm gonna get to it, probably. Basically, this guy, Diggory, and his friend, they stumble into his uncle's attic, which he's not allowed to go into, he tells the girl, hey, touch this ring, and then she like disappears. And so then Diggory goes after her, and they like see the beginning of Narnia. Boyfriend, which is another Frida McFadden book. I read a lot of Frida McFadden this year, if you can't tell. And that one is basically this girl meets like the best boyfriend she's ever had, but there's a catch. Yeah, he like might be a serial killer. The last one at the wedding. Oh, no, not yet. Mola the Witch in the Wardrobe. I think everybody knows this story. Lucy falls into this, like she goes into a wardrobe, and on the other side is a magical world that's always winter. There's an evil queen. There are talking beavers. Mr. Tumnus is a centaur. Yeah. And they have to save Mr. Tumnus. The last one at the wedding is basically this dad who's going to his daughter's wedding, who they haven't really talked in a long time, and he slowly comes to terms with the fact that like her whole life she has been manipulating her dad, and that he didn't raise a good person, even though he did everything he could do. There's just, the horse and his boy, talking horse, talking boy. Go on an adventure back to Narnia, meet a talking horse, a talking girl horse, and a talking girl. And they all head to Narnia together. The horse and his boy. Okay. Prince Caspian. The Pevensey kids get brought back, like, to the future of Narnia. And they're still kids, even though they were adults when they left. They help Prince Caspian rise to power and like defeat this army. Yeah. I really want to know what that is. Anyway, A Song to Drown Rivers. A beautiful girl gets picked to seduce the king, might actually have accidentally fallen in love with the king, but then kills him anyway. Saves the village. The Voyage of Dawn Treader movie was actually better than the book. Cannot believe I said that, but it's true. It's a great movie. Go watch it. Grave Peril. Oh my gosh, what was that book about? Okay. Wizard raids vampires, and his girlfriend gets turned into a vampire. He proposes, she says no, and he doesn't see her. Cruel Prince. Mortal girl was brought up in a fae world and helps overthrow her stepdad, who was a fairy, and puts her enemy on the throne so that her brother, who is actually a descendant of the throne, has a normal childhood. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Andy Bell goes missing, her boyfriend kills himself. Everybody just assumes that it was the boyfriend, but Pippa doesn't believe that, so she goes on her whole investigation and finds out exactly what happened to Andy Bell in South Sing. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Coriolanus Snow, Lucy Gray. Coriolanus is to help and mentor Lucy Gray in the Hunger Games, and he falls in love with her, and then he gets in trouble for helping her in the games, so then he gets like, he's a peacekeeper and he goes to District 12, and then he's weird and he's evil. Ugh. The Hunger Games. Katniss Everdeen takes the place of her sister Prim in a battle to the death arena. Yeah. And pretends to date Peeta, or pretends to fall in love with Peeta so that people feel bad for them. Catching Fire. Yes, Catching Fire. They get shoved into the Hunger Games one last time because Snow hates them and thinks that they're going to be the start of a revolution, which he's absolutely right. And Katniss gets out, but Peeta doesn't. and now Katniss is the face of the revolution, and she hates everyone for not getting Peeta out and for getting her out instead of Peeta, because she loves him, but it's a little too late for her to realize that, so oh well. Mockingjay. Peeta gets tortured by the Capitol into hating Katniss. They rescue Peeta, but he still hates Katniss and has to relearn how to love her. And yes, and they defeat the Capitol. Yeah. A Summer Night. Wizard gets into a hard situation with Mab, the fairy queen of winter. Has to figure out who killed the Summer Night, and doesn't do that for the whole book, and then somehow his literal fairy godmother comes to rescue him and say, hey, I'm gonna show you exactly what happened, and then boom, he figures it all out in his head, and then he wins. But and the last book that I read so far, oh yeah, this is the book, by the way. This is it. But then I have, did I find where that book went? No, I didn't. Oh, there it is. Hold on. It's like in the mess of covers. It's okay. Here it is. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Now I knew a little bit about this book going in because this book is everywhere, and if you've been anywhere online, especially in the book space, you have to have heard of this book and know at least a little bit of what it's about. But basically, Evelyn Hugo is a famous movie star from the 50s, and she calls up this girl, Monique Grant, and she's like, hey, I want you to be the one to write this piece for your magazine. And then she gets there, and she's like, actually, I want you to write my biography. And the following is basically, we read simultaneously the story of Monique writing The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but also we do get to read Evelyn's story in full. And the book that she publishes at the end of the book is in fact called The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, so we can infer that we probably just read the book that she's going to publish in her fictional world. This is a really beautiful book. It has All My Love, Evelyn on it, and beautiful, like just beautiful gold foil detailing, but then also it has 7 rings on the sprayed edges. Emerald green is definitely Evelyn Hugo's color. But that is all of the books that I read in 2024, basically kind of summarized for you in the least spoiler way that I could give you. Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I really hope that you go check out the rest that I have on my page, because it's slowly building. We're slowly building up, guys. Yeah, that's basically all I have to say. I will see you soon. Bye.